Welcome to the Marketing God Podcast, where we provide insights and knowledge to assist you in reaching and engaging with more people. Together, as we apply marketing insights to your good work, we hope to help more people know you, turn to you, and ultimately become loyal to God. This is week number 2, and the week's topic is understanding your target audience. Today, our focus is small targets, and works with truth number 29 in the book, Marketing God. Introducing your marketing strategist, author, and guide on this journey, Donna A. Heckler.
Hello. Our topic for today is small targets. And we take this topic from Truth 29 in the book, Marketing God, and the title of that truth is Small Targets Are Easier to Hit. Central to any effective marketing effort is understanding your target audience. We are most effective when we clearly communicate with our target audience about our product or service. To clearly communicate with them, we really need to understand them. And that is where target audiences come into play. People often get worried thinking that the parish or ministry is for everyone, and that they need to talk to everybody, and that they can't have a precise target audience because ultimately they want to help everybody get to God. The truth is, we need to be precise in how we define our target audience, as that is how we can be most effective at reaching people. A most perfect example is from Christ himself. In the book Marketing God, we start Truth 29 with this Bible verse. From Luke 5:32, it reads, "I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." I do really think that this is the most perfect target audience description ever. Who is Christ calling? The sinners. He's very precise. He knows who he is trying to reach. Likewise, we understand who he's trying to reach very clearly as well. That is not to say that the target audience is small. No, in fact, it's an enormous group. However, in this, he offers us an opportunity to discern whether we belong to this group or not. He is calling sinners. Is that me? Yes, it is. So I'm in his group. This group is very right for me, and I will listen to him. And that is really what we're trying to do too, is to be as precise as possible. But too often, when we speak of target audiences, parishes and ministries, and even corporations, I will tell you, become so very concerned that we are making the group too small. They're afraid that by defining a target audience, the number of people you reach may be limited. Yes, we are being focused, but as you can see from the verse from Luke, that does not make it small. When we are precise in understanding our audience, and we are clear in who they are and who we are trying to reach, we can communicate with them so much more effectively. In our second podcast, we spoke of marketing and branding not being bad words. Why did we say that? We said that because those words, marketing and branding, guide us in how we're going to communicate. Communication works well when we understand who we are trying to reach. When we understand our target audience, we can communicate in ways that are meaningful to them. I was assisting a parish in their marketing. They are located in a section of town known for the elderly population. The pastor explained that he thought opening a school would really help to bring young families to the area. So his idea was to do a capital campaign so the church could build a school. To be honest, that entire concept worried me, and precisely because of the target audience. Those in the area did not have young children, and those with young children were not apt to move to the area simply because a new school was going to open. So who was going to contribute to the capital campaign for a school? Understanding the target audience, we discussed focusing on senior-oriented programs, including grandparent efforts. The idea was to build a vibrant faith community of senior citizens who could share their faith easily with family and grandchildren. Fortunately, they did focus on the elderly population, and I say fortunately because when COVID hit just 2 years later, they understood their audience very well and how to effectively manage their parish during the harshest times of COVID. In marketing lingo, we talk about smaller audiences being easier to hit. By that, we mean precisely defined audiences are easier to connect with. They are easier because we understand what matters to them and how we, our parish or our ministry, can matter to them. When we speak of target audience, people often think of demographics. Right away, they'll start saying, okay, well, we have to figure out what's the average income and the education and the sex and the family structure, etc., of the group we're trying to reach. While those variables can be insightful, the more important variables are the psychographics. In other words, what are the psychological variables that might connect people to each other, and importantly, to you and your parish or ministry? For a little bit of a fun example, have you heard about hot girl pearls? They are great big pearls, think Wilma Flintstone size, that are filled with a material that can be frozen. And when somebody gets a bit too hot, you can pull them out of the freezer and put them around your neck. Instant relief. You know how I learned about these? When I had cancer. A really common issue for women going through chemo and many of the medications is that they get very hot, followed by very cold. So hot flashes are a huge issue for those facing cancer. Hot girl pearls are a very clear example of understanding your audience. Why is that? Hot girl pearls recognize that women going through cancer are very uncomfortable when they become so hot. And so as a result, they focused on that uncomfortableness and they marketed those hot girl pearls right there in the hospital gift shops where the women were coming in when they were going to get their chemo or their radiation or sometimes their medicines. While that's a fun secular example, I still think the best example of a psychographic factor is from Christ himself. In the Bible verse, Christ says he came to call the sinners, not the righteous. Sinner and righteous can both be considered psychographic factors. An important part of a well-defined audience is that people find that it's true for themselves. Think back to Christ's proclamation. He came to call sinners, not the righteous. It's pretty easy to decide for yourself whether he came to call you or not. When you are clear on your target audience, you can be really focused with your messages. You know who your audience is, and you understand what matters to them. Therefore, you can share your product, your service, your parish, your ministry in a way that resonates with the audience. That's exactly what Christ did. And that is what makes smaller audiences easier to hit. Ask yourself today a few different questions. For instance, how might you define your target audience? Don't just use demographics. Think about some psychographics. Are there any psychological points that connect your audience together? What point precisely describes them and unites them into one cohesive group? That's it for today. We look forward to seeing you at our next podcast.
Thank you for being here. We are so glad you listened in today. Look for the worksheet for today's topic in the podcast link. We invite you to join the Marketing God Facebook group where we share additional tools, insights, and ideas with each other. Are you looking for even more insights? You can purchase the acclaimed book, Marketing God, online at your favorite Catholic bookstore or for larger quantities through the publisher OSV.